Krishna devotees, my humble obeisances to you all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you all for joining His Holiness Candramauli Swami Maharaj's daily class. Today we are continuing with Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 18th chapter, verse number 9. Hare Krishna Maharaj, my humble obeisances to you, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Please take over, Maharaj. Thank you so much for your time and association. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, my obeisances to the devotees. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Upavanitam mitam va Punya Prariksitam Maya Vasudeva Katopetam Akyanam Yara Prichyata. O sages, as you did ask me, now I have described almost everything regarding the narrations about Lord Krishna in connection with the history of the pious Maharaj Pariksit. Purport. Srimad Bhagavatam is the history of the activities of the Lord, and the activities of the Lord are performed in relationship with the devotees of the Lord. Therefore, the history of the devotees is not different from the history of Lord Krishna's activities. A devotee of the Lord regards both the activities of the Lord and those of his pure devotees on an equal level, for they are all transcendental. Chaksun militam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimakti Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Pastyatya De Satarine Panchakalpa Tarubhischa Kripa Sindhu Pevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaho Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Vanchakalpa Tarubhischa Kripa Sindhu Pevacha Hitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaho Namaha. So there is a synergy or a synchronization or identical understanding of the activities of the Lord and the activities of the pure devotees of the Lord. Pure devotees of the Lord act only in relationship to the Lord. So when we're hearing the narrations of the pure devotees, they're not separate from the narrations of the Lord. And the narrations of the Lord are always given by the pure devotees of the Lord. So there is a identity that is non-different, and this what makes up the Srimad Bhagavatam. And so when one hears about the activities of the pure devotees, they are also getting purified because those activities are always in relationship to the Lord. And the Lord's activities never are exclusive from the activities of his pure devotees. You'll see Krishna, you see pictures of Krishna, or you hear about activities of Krishna. He's never alone. He always performs his activities in relationship to his devotees. There's not a thing where Krishna sits and meditates on himself, or well, there is one. There's one that says that when Krishna was living household life in Dwarka, he would get up in the morning and meditate on himself, but he was never alone in doing that. He was always surrounded by one or more of his queens. So you'll see Krishna with his devotees in different activities, whether it's the gopis, the cowherd boys, the cows, and even in Vrindavan, the trees, the grass, the water, the birds. The atmosphere is all non-different than Krishna also. This is the absolute nature of transcendence. The Bhagavatam emphasizes these activities, and one who hears them, and especially one who chants them, they become fully purified. So therefore we should not discriminate. Well, I want to hear about the Lord, I don't want to hear about the devotees. Because the activities of the devotees are very pleasing to the Lord, and those who hear about the activities of the Lord become very much dear to the Lord also. Those who hear the activity of the pure devotee also become very dear to the Lord. Go on to the next verse. Verse number 10. Yaya kata bhagavatam kataniyo yor ru karmana guna karma srayam pumbi samsevash tal bibuk subihi. Translation. Those who are desirous of achieving complete perfection of life must submissively hear all topics that are connected with the transcendental activities and qualities of the personality of Godhead who acts wonderfully. The systematic hearing of the transcendental activities, qualities, and names of Lord Krishna pushes one towards eternal life. Systematic hearing means knowing him gradually in truth and fact, and this knowing him in truth and fact means attaining eternal life, as stated in the Bhagavad Gita. Such transcendental, glorified activities of Lord Sri Krishna are the prescribed remedy for counteracting the process of birth, death, old age, and disease, which are considered to be material awards for the conditioned living being. The culmination of such perfectional stage of life is the goal of human life and the attainment of transcendental bliss. So, satam prasangam mama virya samvido bhavanti ritkarna rasayana kata na josina tad uvartmani bhaktir ratir anukramishyati. This verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd Canto, 25th chapter, mentions that when devotees come together, they want to hear and chant the glories of the Lord because it's nectar. Everyone in this world seeks enjoyment. Here is the topmost form of enjoyment. Because Krishna's activities are divyam, transcendental, although they may similarly have some connection with material activities, in essence, they have nothing to do with material activities, because the substance and goal is completely contrary. So the activities of the Lord purify the heart, awaken one's devotion to the Lord, and push one, as it says here, towards eternal life. So this is the interest of the devotees. They want to hear and chant the glories of the Lord, and they also want to give others that same opportunity by making arrangements where others can also hear the glories of the Lord. So this is the perfection of life, as Prabhupada ends the verse, and transcendental bliss. And Krishna's activities are unlimited. As Krishna is unlimited, his activities are unlimited. And even if you repeat the same pastime over, it becomes what we say, always fresh, and always has the quality of uplifting the consciousness, no matter how many times you may hear it. In the material world, repetition of something becomes tiring, and after one, sometime even boring. And when something is popular in this world, it's pushed to the attention of people. But after some time, it wears itself out, and then they look for something new, something different. That's the nature of the material energy. It is called jada. Jada means it's dead. It has no life of itself. It's given life when it's connected to the source of life, Krishna himself, through his glorification. Otherwise, the material energy can never give what we say satisfaction. Therefore, the materialists, they keep trying to change all the time. They have to keep changing in order to find some kind of happiness, but the happiness is mostly through the process of change, because the activities of itself do not elevate the soul. It simply gives some stimulation to the mind. And the mind can only sometimes doesn't accept these things and rejects them anyway. But when the mind becomes receptive to the transcendental pastimes and activities, and especially Krishna's qualities, the mind becomes enlivened by that. The mind becomes enlivened, the heart becomes purified, the ear actually becomes alive and wants to hear more and more. The example here is Maharaj Parikshit, who heard Srimad Bhagavatam for 18 full days. I'm sorry, not 18 days, 7 days, 7 full days. And he never got tired of hearing. In fact, as the narrations were going on by Sukadeva Goswami, his enthusiasm to hear increased along with the narration. So this is how transcendental activities are performed. They're not, although they appear sometimes to be similar to the activities of the conditioned soul, the substance is different, and that is the quality of the Lord is encased in these activities, and therefore it lifts the consciousness up. Consciousness is not material. The activities of the mind are not consciousness. The activities of the mind are elements of thinking, feeling, and willing, and the consciousness itself is a product of the soul. So, and then when consciousness is infused with transcendental knowledge, it expands itself, because the soul is also unlimited in terms of its consciousness to a certain degree of unlimitedness. But it's somewhat, what we say, dwarfed or stuffed out by the coverings of the material energy. So that hearing process cuts through these coverings and brings the consciousness to its natural, pristine, clear state of existence, which is the natural position of the living entity's existence. So therefore, one should make a schedule to regularly hear and chant the glories of the Lord. Having activities to perform in this world is the business of the mind, the senses, and the intelligence in relationship to the material energy. And when these activities are performed for the pleasure of the Lord, they're transcendental. But there is another aspect of transcendence, which is Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smarnam, the hear and chant and remember the activities of the Lord, which is the essence of transcendental happiness. So once one becomes inclined to hear, and how does one become inclined to hear? Shushrusho Sharadanasya, Vasudeva Kataruchi, Shanyad Seva Vipra Purnya Tirtana Sevanat. That hearing process becomes what we say energized when one engages in service to the devotees of the Lord, especially the pure devotees. It says by rendering service to great souls, great service is achieved or performed. And by such service, one gets an affinity to hear the message of Vasudeva. So here's the key. Serve the devotees, especially the pure devotees, and that awakens your desire to hear the activities of the Lord more and more. And even if it doesn't matter, even if you can't find opportunities to serve the pure devotees, simply try to hear as much as you can anyway. But it becomes what we say energized through the process of serving the devotees of the Lord. But in any case, this process of hearing is really what Bhagavatam is about. Bhagavatam is Sukadeva Goswami speaking, Maharaj Parikshit hearing. It's about Narada Muni speaking. It's about Vyasadeva hearing. It's about different personalities in the Bhagavatam who speak, and there's a receptivity by a particular soul. So the Bhagavatam is just discussions on transcendental topics, which are elevating the consciousness to the stage of pure devotion. And then one gets attracted to Krishna. As one gets attracted to Krishna, one gets attached to Krishna. And when that attachment becomes strong, it turns into affection and ultimately into love for Krishna. And then one wants to hear more and more about Krishna and perform all of their activities centered around the service to the Lord. This is the perfectional stage. We'll go on to the next verse. Rishaya Uchu Sutta Jiva Samasam Yas Sasvatir Visadam Yasaham Yastvad Samsasi Krishnasya Martyanam Amritam Hi Naha. The good sages said, O grave Sutta Goswami, may you live many years and have eternal fame. For you are speaking very nicely about the activities of the Lord Krishna, the personality of Godhead. This is just like nectar for mortal beings like us. Purport. When we hear about the transcendental qualities and activities of the personality of Godhead, we may also remember what he has spoken by the Lord himself in Bhagavad Gita 4:9. His acts, even when he acts in human society, are all transcendental, for they are all accentuated by the spiritual energy of the Lord, which is distinguished from his material energy. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita, such acts are called divyam. This means that he does not act or take birth like ordinary living being, under the custody of material energy. Nor is his body material or changeable like that of an ordinary being. And one who understands this fact, and that's that verse from 4:9 in Bhagavad Gita, either from the Lord or from the authorized sources, is not reborn after leaving the present material body. Such an enlightened soul is admitted into the spiritual realm of the Lord and engages in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Therefore, the more we hear about the transcendental activities of the Lord, as they are stated in the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, the more we can know about his transcendental nature, and thus make definite progress on the path back to Godhead. So here it says, the more we hear about the transcendental activities, so there's no limit. It says that you have to hear up to a certain, no, you continue to go on hearing And the more we hear about these, the more progress is made. It's nectar to the ear, to the heart, to the mind, and the whole body becomes spiritually energized by that sound vibration. And ultimately, one moves towards the goal of life. And not to take birth again is actually the goal of human life. We take birth in order so we can avoid taking birth. That means this, when we come in contact with the bona fide spiritual master who engages us in hearing about the glories of the Lord, that perfects our life, and then we qualify ourselves to go back to the spiritual world, and then there's no more birth in this material world. So as it says by Rishabdev, in that to take birth in this material world is unnatural. I think there's a nice verse. You can turn to it. It's the 5th canto, 1st chapter, verse number 2, 512, I believe. 5th canto, first teachings, yeah, verse number 2. Let's see. Is this? Let me see. I think there's another. What? Seem to be getting. Go on to the next verse. Maybe it's the next verse. Well, let's see, somewhere. Oh, maybe I think I got the wrong chapter. Fifth canto, 5th chapter. I'm sorry, not 1st chapter. 5th canto, 5th chapter, verse 2. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so Mahat Seva Dwarma Hor Vimuktas Tamo Dwarm Yositat Sangi Sangam. Mahatmanas Tev Samachitta Prashanta Vimanaya Suhridam Sadabo Ye. Translation. One can attain the path of liberation from material bondage only by rendering service to highly advanced spiritual personalities. These personalities are impersonalists and devotees. Whether one wants to merge into the existence of the Lord or wants to associate with the personality of Godhead, one should render service to the Mahatmas. Though for those who are not interested in such activities, who associate with people fond of women and sex, the path to hell is wide open. The Mahatmas are equipoise. They do not see any difference between one living entity and another. They're very peaceful and fully engaged in devotional service. They are devoid of anger and they work for the benefit of others. They do not behave in any abominable way. Such persons are known as Mahatmas. Yeah. And there's another verse that mentions that to take birth is not normal for the soul. I think it's somewhere in this chapter. I'm not sure where it is. I thought it was this verse. But this verse is also quite important, that to serve great souls, great service is done. And again, one gets connected to the path of pure devotional service, and one also gets the attraction to hear about the glories of the Lord. We're not attracted to hear about the glories of the Lord. We're attracted to hear about all of the mistakes that are going on in the world. Or we're attracted to hear about what we call it grumyata, when something happens, and it's kind of like it's not mentioned to be something good. It's the juicy, what we say, activities of those who are acting in the wrong way. So, and that's the whole world is like that. And the newspapers are full of all of the You know, this politician had a relationship with that politician's wife, and this personality, you know, he stole so much, and now he's caught, but now he's got a good, you know, so it just goes on, and it's just all of the, what we say, derogatory activities of the material world. And sometimes these things filter into devotional society where devotees also get involved in wrong activities. And rather than hearing about the activities of the Lord, we like to hear about the activities of the devotees when they deviate from Krishna consciousness. So that's not really recommended at all, and it doesn't do any benefit for anyone. So this process of hearing is, and Srila Prabhupada has given us unlimited books for absorbing, and then Srila Prabhupada's disciples have written also so many wonderful books. And you have the books of the Acharyas, especially Bhakti Vinod Thakur and Jiva Goswami, Rupa Goswami. My God, it's unlimited, and they're all about the glories of the Lord. So the glories of the Lord and the glories of the Lord's pure devotees are the essence of the happiness that one is seeking through the process of hearing, and not simply, people like to gather and talk about this person or that person, about this situation, about that situation, and it's just like, yeah, and this called Grumyat Katha, or village talk. And people who have nothing to do, or their minds are so disturbed for whatever reason, they like to vent their disturbed mind by talking about something that is disturbing. It makes them feel better. Okay, so go to verse number 3 in this. Go down the verse. Let's see. If you could do the verse listing again like you did at the beginning, that would be good. Yeah, let's see. I'm trying to find that the statement about not taking birth again. Go down, maybe it's verse number 4, or maybe it's number 8. I'm not sure. It's one of these verses. It says the living entity is not meant to take birth for whatever reason. No. Yeah. Maybe it's in another chapter. Whatever but it emphasizes to take birth in this material world is an anomaly. It's not meant for the soul to take birth, because the soul is eternal, and taking birth is just in an artificial state of existence. It's like being put into a room, and where there's nothing in the room, and there's nobody in the room, and you're stuck in the room all by yourself. Your nature is to do things and to interact with others, but if you're restricted in that way, you're in a very unnatural and very unhappy situation. So when the soul takes birth in this material world, it's an unnatural situation. And in comparison to the amount of souls in existence, which is uncountable, it mentions that only a few souls in relationship actually take birth in this world. The majority of the souls, which are of course unlimited in number, no one cannot count, never come to this material world. So therefore, the path back home is that it's simple, hearing and chanting the glories of the Lord, and especially in the association with others. Okay, so we can stop there.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you so much for such a wonderful class. The importance of hearing and knowing the pastimes of the Lord, and having a taste for hearing. Thank you so much, Maharaj. Dear devotees, any questions or comments or realizations, you can please go ahead now. And you can, if possible, please turn on your cameras. That would be nice. Thank you. Maharaj, as you said, like we should make a schedule to hear the glories of the Lord or to hear the lectures. So, Maharaj, I have a doubt that so usually, yeah, we are after coming into Krishna consciousness through hearing process, so started listening to the lectures. So, but after some time, suppose for example, in a particular day, I heard a lecture for 1 hour, and after that, um, again, I heard again one more lecture for half an hour. So, but our mind will get saturated, and I don't want to take it anymore. Suppose, for example, if I want to do more, the I feel like full for that particular day. So, like I can't take philosophy more than a particular quota like that. So, how to develop more taste, Maharaj, for this type of topics?
Well, there is two things: there's tattva and there's lila. What here is talking about is lila, Krishna's activities. Tattva is the philosophical principles that surround the activities of lila, which are, well, we say, help to bring out the lila. So, and just for instance, one of the books that Srila Prabhupada gave us was Krishna book, which is really taking the essence of the 10th canto and then combining it with his explanations, aside from the verse presentation, but in a more of like a dialogue or a narration. So then you get a lot of lila that way. It kind of like blends all of it together, and is so tattva is important because it supports lila. But once you get involved in hearing about lila, and then that was what really attracts the mind, Krishna's activities, the essence of everything. So yeah, you can hear so much philosophy, but when we hear lila, it's a whole different thing. But there is an element of philosophy that's needed to help understand lila. So that's why that's included. Otherwise, pure lila is only understandable or acceptable by the pure devotees. We're not a pure devotee. To hear lila all continuously is hard. And to hear philosophy continuously can sometimes become overwhelming. But it depends, if you develop a taste. Again, the taste comes by service. So what recommended, like yesterday, was Ekadasi. So on those days, you put everything else aside and you chant for a while, then you read for a while, then you chant for a while, then you read for a while. And you spend the whole day going back and forth between these two activities. And then you're pretty much, you're full in transcendental knowledge and transcendental experience with Krishna's pastimes. You can do that. We recommend, like, we have kirtan melas. We also have reading, kind of reading seminars where you just read for a while. And if you find the Bhagavatam a little hard, then you pick something in the Bhagavatam that you might become attracted, a particular pastime or a particular story or something. And then you focus on that, and that helps to awaken your attraction, which will expand out to other topics in the Bhagavatam. There's certain things we like to hear about in terms of, there's those who like to hear Krishna's pastimes with his friends. There's others that like to hear what Krishna's girlfriends. Others like to hear about how Krishna kills the demons. There's so many varieties of that Krishna's relationship with his devotees. All of these things are attractive, and some are more attractive or less attractive to some devotees. See what attracts you.
Yes, Maharaj. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you so much. Dear devotees, any questions or comments? Maharaj, yeah, Sakshi Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Maharaj, you said consciousness is a product of soul and mind is more related to thinking, feeling, and willing. So I wanted to know more about the consciousness part, which is the product of soul.
I'll give you an example, or I'll give you an analogy. The sky. The sky is vast. The sky, they almost say the sky is unlimited. But then you look up in the sky and you see birds, you see clouds, you see an aircraft. So the sky is compared to consciousness, and the thoughts of the mind are compared to these different objects you see in the sky, which are imprints upon the consciousness. So consciousness is vast, it's clear, it's pure, it's spiritual. But the thoughts of the mind are the imprints upon the consciousness. Like that. So that way you can see that your thoughts, unless they're spiritual, then they are simply coverings over the clear sky, just like the sky can never be covered, but it appears to be covered. Like the cloud covers the sun, but the cloud can't really cover the sun because the sun is way beyond the cloud. You have to go beyond the cloud to see the sun. You see that the cloud is not covering the sun, but from the perspective of being below the cloud, it looks like. So consciousness is pure. It's pure, it's spiritual. And our material thoughts are just like imprints upon that consciousness. That's all.
Okay,
Consciousness is life, because consciousness is the symptom of the soul. That's why matter is not consciousness, because it's not life. Simply a combination of material elements. The material elements are only moving because of their contact with the spiritual energy, which is the soul or consciousness. Consciousness moves that. It's like when the soul leaves the body is no longer functionable. When the soul enters the body grows and becomes active. So everything material is dead, but in contact with the spiritual energy, it moves and interacts like that. So we are pure consciousness, but we're covered by these material thoughts, desires, activities.
thank you, Maharaj. The analogy clears that up. Hare
Yeah,
Krishna.
it's a nice analogy.
Yes, Maharaj. Yeah. Thank you so much. Maharaj, as you said, like we have so many other devotees writing books and first generation disciples of Srila Prabhupada and second generation. So we are always, recently I was just arranging my bookshelf and I saw so many books and I have so much of pending reading. But always we are very much interested in reading Bhagavatam only, especially myself. I always go to Bhagavatam instead of other books. So how to make a balance, Maharaj? Like how necessary is that that we have to listen to others also, like reading or hearing other lectures like that?
Not necessarily.
Mm.
I usually combine myself with some activities of Srila Prabhupada, books about Prabhupada, and then Bhagavatam. These are my two focuses. And if something else becomes extremely important to read for some knowledge needed, then I'll read that.
Mm.
But Bhagavatam is consistent, constant, because Bhagavatam is Krishna in transcendental sound. It's non-different than Krishna. It's purifying, and it deals only with pure devotional service. Bhagavatam's the best.
Yes, Maharaj. Yeah, I'm not finding time to read any other books also, because of
Good.
the reading groups and because of the classes. I'm able to read Bhagavatam only.
Good. You're in a good. Just keep going.
Yes, Maharaj. Thank you. With all your inspiration.
I mean, once in a while we have a little interest and want to read something else.
Yeah.
Just the way nature of the mind, that's fine. But as long as you keep Bhagavatam steady, along with whatever else you read, then that's good.
Mm.
It's not that you shouldn't read anything else. That doesn't say that anywhere. But be consistent with the prime scriptures. The prime scriptures are Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita. And Bhagavad Gita is also prime because it gives us the insight of the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Of Bhagavatam, like that. Krishna prepares us for the Bhagavatam through Bhagavad Gita.
Yes, Maharaj. Yeah. Thank you. Manisha Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances on Holy Srila Prabhupada. Maharaj, how can we attach to hearing Srila Prabhupada lecture? Because I'm not hearing one lecture, at least one lecture in a week.
What's the question again? How can we what?
How can we attach to hearing Srila Prabhupada lecture?
Well, just schedule it. Do it every day. Have a time for it. Like, I always turn on Prabhupada's lecture when I'm taking prasadam. Breakfast or lunch, if I'm alone. And I'm always listening to Prabhupada. And then sometimes when I'm doing something that requires just some mechanical activities, like, I don't know, maybe like packing, I'm packing for a trip, I'll turn on Prabhupada's lectures and hear during that time too. Well, we can pick times where you can hear like that. And in the morning, if you want to do it just as a focus, just sit down and listen. That's nice. It's no hard and fast rules. You'll develop a taste for it as you do it more and more. The taste may not be there in the beginning. That's why you say, how can we do it? Well, we just do it, that's all. But once we get a taste, then there's no question of how to do it. We'll just do it, that's all. When we say, how can we do it? That means we don't have a taste. You get the taste by doing it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. There's this
I have one.
There's this thing is, you can get this. Can you see this?
Maharaj, little
Yes,
lower.
Maharaj.
Too low or too high?
Too high, Maharaj. Can you just bring it down a little? Yeah. Yeah, now it's good.
It looks like a radio, right?
Yeah, as much.
And it has all of Prabhupada's lectures on it.
Oh,
You just turn it on and then you push the button and the button connects you with a particular class. And there's a whole listing of topics which are aligned with certain numbers.
what is
So
the name of this Maharaj?
yeah, this was produced by the devotees in Delhi. There's also one that was produced by the devotees in Chowpatty also for Radhanath Swami's lectures. So it's a nice little device. You can carry it around anywhere. All you do is turn it on, and then you got Prabhupada's lecture. You don't have to kind of like finagle around to try to find something. It's there. And it's easy to carry. It can also has an earphone to it if you want to hear privately. You can also connect it to speakers to make it more amplified. It's really nice.
Nice, Maharaj.
Yeah.
It,
And
it will
then,
help in traveling too, when you're traveling.
and then it has a little book. And this is a book. It says Nectar. And on the back, it has the playlist of 300 audio lectures, 1,400 hours worth of lectures, with all the listings of the different types like Gita, Bhagavatam, Nectar Devotion, general lectures, festivals, Ishopanishads, public lectures, Chaitanya Chari, morning walks, room conversations. There's also bhajans, Prabhupada telling stories. Those of you who like Hindi, there's Hindi lectures. Those of you who like Bengali, there's there also included. 145 Hindi lectures, 22 Bengali lectures, 46 stories, and Prabhupada's recitation of a nice little device.
Yes, Maharaj, yeah.
It's available. I don't, maybe I can see, there's one devotee in Delhi. That's where I get them from. I got about a dozen of them, and I've been giving them out to devotees.
Oh, great.
I'll bring you one, Srimati, when I come.
Sure, Maharaj. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I got an extra one or two.
And if possible, please share the contact of the devotee Maharaj, so that everyone who are interested, they can.
Okay. Yeah. Let me see if he wants to be invaded, but I'll
Yeah, if possible. That's all. That's
yeah,
okay.
yeah. And there must be a source outlet somewhere aside from Delhi, but I don't know of one right now. It's handy.
Yeah.
It's handy. You can also record on this too.
Oh, nice. Thank you, Manisha Mataji, for asking that question. So we got so much of information. Thank you. Dear devotees, any more questions or comments? Maharaj, I noticed that in some classes, as we are running our conference call, all that, so devotees mostly get attracted to hearing the stories, the story part or the pastime part of Krishna, and all the devotee stories. Does that mean that we are remaining a neophyte level, not advancing towards philosophy?
No, you'll find stories are also contain philosophy in them. Yeah. It's nice. If you want to hear stories, yeah, great.
Yeah, because many I see that mostly neophyte people or newcomers, they are getting attracted to listening to the stories rather than philosophy. So yeah, at the time I was thinking like
That's Kali Yuga because people can't understand philosophy in this age. Minds are too disturbed. So stories are more easily acceptable and understandable.
and they connect to the speaker too very nicely when the speaker tells a story. Everyone, yesterday night we had a session in our Bhakti Riksha. So Mataji was giving stories. So then everybody got connected and they were all enjoying the katha. So that's what I was reflecting upon.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. That's nice. That's
Yeah.
Krishna. Yeah. Hmm. It's like nobody can understand the Vedas. That's why Vyasadeva broke the Vedas down to make it more understandable into the Smritis. The Shrutis are the Vedas, but who can listen to the Shrutis? I mean, nobody can understand the Shrutis. It's too difficult, especially in this age. So the Smritis are commentaries on the Vedas. Bhagavad Gita is Smriti. It's not Shruti. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna speaks the philosophy in a very simplified way, which is the commentary. Gita Upanishads, it's called it.
Yes, Maharaj. Yeah.
Okay.
Maharaj, I don't see any questions. So, with your permission, can we chant a round of japa, Maharaj?
Yeah, that's always, for me, that's fun. Okay, we'll have some fun now. Okay, let me get my beads.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Jai Shri Krishna, Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita, Gadadhar, Sivasadi Gaur, Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Krishna, Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Ram, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Ram, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Ram, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Haribol Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda. So just I want to make two announcements. One is I'm not certain whether I'll be on class tomorrow. course, there'll be class by someone, but I'm not sure if it'll be me or not. So that we'll have to see. There's some program coming up and I may be available for class, I may not. And the other one is there's a special class coming up on Monday, this Monday, by Krishna Kshetra Maharaj on Krishna's cows. And it's going to be broadcast. Those of you who read the ISKCON news that I sent online, there was an article there along with a link for that particular upcoming class on Monday, which is at the same time as our class. It's at 1 o'clock. So I'm pointing everyone towards that class. I think it'd be good if you hear it. Krishna Kshetra Maharaj is quite brilliant. He's a great speaker and he knows his subject quite well. So that's at 1 o'clock. I'll, if you want, I can send you the link. But the
Yes,
link is
Maharaj, I
there.
think I can find it from the email we forwarded, the ISKCON news.
Okay, and then make it available.
Yes, Maharaj.
If you can't find it, then just contact.
Yes, Maharaj. And are you saying that instead of a regular class, we all should join that class, Maharaj?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, Maharaj. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you very much for today's class. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
No.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you so much. Thank you, dear devotees. We'll all see you tomorrow. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada
Jai.
Maharaj ki jai. Thank you.
Jai.
everyone.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Lovely class as always. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, lovely class.